Hi, my name's Amara and I live in Australia. And
Wonderful.
so it's a bit early. Oh, sorry, it's a bit early right now. But I'm really excited to present today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome. It must be very late at night for you.
Yeah, it's midnight right now.
Oh, okay. So, Carrie, go ahead. You have 3 to 4 minutes.
Thank you. In the time it took for me to take that breath, 475 trees were cut down globally. That's about 27 soccer fields of forests per minute. That is 15 billion trees cut down per year. Deforestation is
Mm.
devastating our planet like never before. Sustainability should be our priority. So the question is, how do we rewild our world? The answer lies in a false intelligence, greater and faster than our own. We need to harness it. AI may not have a physical brain, and though it's compact, its impact is unimaginable. To bring back the nature that humanity didn't nurture, AI needs to be used in a three-stage plan of innovation for forest restoration. AI will map deforestation, identifying illegal sites, use drones to replant native trees quicker than humans ever could, and manage the regrowth of these trees, tracking them to ensure a healthy lifespan. Artificial intelligence with satellite technology allows for the exploration, identification, and determination of deforested areas. The WWF found that over 90% of deforestation in the Amazon is linked to illegal activities. That is over 90% of logging that could have been fined, prohibited, and limited with the usage of AI. Systems like Global Forest Watch and Google Earth, powered by AI, can identify these areas and alert authorities and environmental conservation groups. Airseed is pioneering revegetation with drone powered seed systems which deploy seeds straight into the ground. AI allows for a calculated way of assessing whether an area is safe to have such regrowth planted and what type of native vegetation is most suitable. AI can also take into consideration the presence of wildlife for their safety as well. By combining AI with drone seed planting, 40,000 seeds can be planted per day. That is 25 times faster than humans, 80% more cost effective, and with artificial intelligence, these decisions can be scaled globally. But what is the point of rewilding our world if it cannot be taken care of yet again? AI allows for the monitoring of vegetation and tracking of potentially catastrophic epidemic breakouts amongst trees. Just as the technology can identify cows with MUID and CamCow, it can do the same with vegetation. In Canada alone, AI has reduced spruce budworm outbreaks by 25% just by predicting and analyzing hotspots. AI is flawed in that it has the tendency for error and is not yet at the stage of self management. However, AI can be supervised by localized teams of Indigenous groups who are
Mm.
connected to the land and aware of the native vegetation practices, thus allowing them to further their connections whilst conserving the planet. This allows for communities to share their knowledge of the local environment whilst actively overseeing AI reforestation efforts. If a nation or country does not have an Indigenous group able to oversee such efforts, teams of park rangers and forest managers can take on this role of overseeing AI reforestation to cope with the potential possibility of errors occurring. AI is the solution to deforestation, with identification, planting, and managing the future of our planet's forests. So the question is no longer how, but will we rewild our world with AI? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Amara. I'm glad that you kicked off the presentation today discussing the environment because that's such an important issue we're all concerned about the planet's. climate change and everything else that's happening. So we have a question coming at you from the University of Toronto. It's Kelly Schultz. Kelly, would you ask Amara a question, please?
Great job, Amara. That was well done, and I appreciate the detail you went into about your topic. I do have a question though. What made you interested in deforestation? What was there something in your life that made you want to dig deeper into this space?
Think because I care a lot about climate change in particular. And when I see that deforestation is the root of, deforestation is actually a big cause of fossil fuels emissions. Like, it contributes to 10% of greenhouse gas emissions annually. And when you consider the impacts of reforestation, it can help improve soil quality, it can increase carbon dioxide absorption, and it produces more oxygen for the planet. So overall, I think it's a great and really simple way that we can help restore the beauty of our planet and improve the quality of life here on Earth. And yeah, thank you so much for that question.
Thank you very much for that question and the answer. And now, Professor Howard Lin, Toronto Metropolitan University, you have a question for Amara.
Hi, Mara. Congratulations. I really like your talk. I like trees. I just traveled last week between San Diego and Rapid City, South Dakota. Yeah, I saw much contrast in terms of green, the level of green, the trees. I appreciate your presentation. One point you talk about Indigenous people. You were rightly pointed that use of technology may better be overseen by the Indigenous community. Did you have some further information about this? For example, the use of AI technology by the Indigenous people in general, and somehow, somewhere, maybe in your home place, Australia, Indigenous people actually involved in restoration?
Yeah, that's actually a really great question. So in Australia, one of the biggest issues with deforestation is the occurrence of bushfires as well and wildfires. So as a coping strategy, and this is actually an Indigenous strategy, it's called backburning, whereby you deliberately set fires the forest to prevent the spread of fires in the future. So by limiting the area of the fire's ability to spread, when a fire does occur, it's not able to vastly damage the entire state, which often occurs. And so currently Australian Indigenous people work with park rangers to safely backburn trees and forests across the state and across the nation. And just in regards to your question about evidence of AI and Indigenous people working together, the UNEP conducted a study and actually found that 36% of the world's intact forests are Indigenous land. So it kind of justifies that the practices that these Indigenous people follow and the way they respect the land really does translate to how beautifully the land thrives and how well it does. So by applying their knowledge to AI and allowing them to oversee any potential errors AI can make, as we have seen with things such as ChatGPT and even Google's Gemini, there is the potential for AI to make errors from time to time. So by having human teams oversee this and human teams with actual knowledge of the land, I think it justifies the usage of AI and allows it to be done in a more ethical manner that can be more controlled as well.
Yeah, I love the answer. Thank you.